Hi, this is Amber Garvey from the A Team. We're going to talk about bookmarks and reading lists in this video, and these are on your Chromebook. So if you are at a page that you would really like to bookmark and save for later, you'll notice in the Omni box to the right a star. If you click on this star, you're going to get two choices, and that's the two things we're going to cover in this video, bookmarks and reading list. So first of all, let's talk about the difference. This is a site I use a lot and I come to it frequently, so I want to bookmark it so I can get to it quickly. Reading list is this is something really interesting to me and I'd like to put it on a list so I can read it later. That's really good for articles or blogs that you come across. So let's focus on bookmarks first because this particular page is one I want to use all the time. And I go to it a lot. So what I'm going to do when I click the star is I'm going to choose Add Bookmark. And what it's going to do is ask you what you want to name it. And what it's doing is taking the name that appears in the page, which is usually at the top here, and it's putting it in this name. You can change it if you'd like. And then it's asking me if I want to add it to the bookmarks bar. For now, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click Done. And you'll see that it's added NC Wiseout to my bookmarks bar. Now, just as an aside, if you don't see a bookmarks bar, you're going to want to go to the three-dot menu in the top right-hand corner, hover over bookmarks, and make sure that you have show bookmarks bar checked. If not, this is a way you can get that bookmarks to appear. So let's go and add a few more bookmarks. So Scholastic is another site that I want to make sure and bookmark. So again, I'm going to click on that star, I'm going to add it to bookmarks, and I'm going to go ahead and let it save in the bookmarks bar. But this is an awfully long title. So maybe I'm going to shorten it to just Scholastic PD. And I'm going to go ahead and say done. And now you notice how they're just lining across the top. Instructional Technology is another site I want to bookmark. So again, I'm going to add bookmarks. That's really a long title. So maybe I just want to call this HCPS A Team to make it shorter. And click done. And now I have, and notice it's taking those little tiny pictures. And it's putting that so that I can kind of also visually see where it's going to take me. So now I have several things on my bookmarks bar. So you can see as I keep adding things, that's going to get pretty long. So one of the other things that you can do is create folders. And to show you an example, there's a folder on your bookmarks bar from Henderson County Public Schools, and yours may say HCPS bookmarks. It might have your school staff bookmarks, and if you're a student, it might say your school student bookmarks. But when you click on it, it's a folder of bookmarks that have been set up for your school or for the district that you have access to. And these are managed at the district level. And if you would like to get something added to this that your school uses, you may want to contact your school media specialist to put in a request to add something to this location. But that's an example of a folder. I can create my own folders as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use a two-finger tap on that bar, and we've talked about the right click as a two-finger tap, and I can add a folder. So I'm going to click Add Folder, and what am I going to call this? Well, this is my NC Wiseout, it's my Scholastic, it's Instructional Technology, so maybe I want to have one called Technology Resources. And then I'm going to say save. And what you'll see is now I have a folder that says technology resources, but there's nothing in it at the moment. It's empty. What you can do, very simple, you've learned how to drag and drop with gestures. If I want this to be in my technology resources folder, I can click, drag, hover, and release. And now if I click on that, that HCPSA team is in that folder. Scholastic PD is not really a technology resource, but this NC Wiseout is. So again, click, drag, hover, release. So now I have two things in there. That kind of keeps that bookmarks bar really great so that you don't have to worry about having so much stuff across the top. So creating folders can be super, super helpful so that you can keep your bookmarks organized. So that is the simplicity of creating bookmarks. If you have one that you want to remove at any time, you can use that two-finger tap again, and you get some options, and one of those is to delete. So you can manage those bookmarks as well. So now let's talk about the reading list. The reading list, again, is something that you want to come back to later. So let's say I found this article that I don't really want to bookmark because I'm not going to come back to it often, but I want to add it to a list of things I want to read. In that case, when I click on the star, instead of choosing Add Bookmark, I'm going to add it to my reading list. So the reading list are just going to be things that I want to come back and read later. So I'm going to go ahead and add this article to my reading list, and you'll notice on the right, I got a little red dot with my reading list. And so far, I have one article. So what you can do is continue adding things to your reading list. So I'm going to pretend I've closed that, and then I come back tomorrow and I'm like, I really want to read that article. So I'm going to come to that article. I'm going to read through the article. I've read this fantastic article, and I go back to my reading list. To remove it, I can actually close it. So this is a great place to kind of store things that you're wanting to refer to just for a short time. So bookmarks are more long-term. Now, the great thing about bookmarks and reading lists is that if I'm logged into Google, which you are on a Chromebook, I can go to another Chromebook and log in. I'm going to have the same bookmarks and the same reading list. That also means if you log into Chrome on your desktop, you'll have those same bookmarks and reading lists there as well in Chrome. So this is just a great way to make using your browser more efficient to save bookmarks and save items for reading across your devices.